Okay, recording video on Sunday, the 19th of October, 2025. Just gone 4:06 a.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend. Time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Well, I thought that was an untidy week. A lot of toing and froing on the equities markets and not a lot of convincing lows being made. We were bouncing off some exhaustion patterns, some Rambo patterns at the bottom. Not a lot of blue professional bars coming in the places you would expect. And this week what we've got coming up is some cyclical support levels that are going to play in that could be quite important going forward. So we're strengthening, but I don't like it. Let's go through the charts. Emini charts first, daily all the way down to the 13,500 tip bar chart, and then we'll go through some of the markets that we saw setting up last week. So daily chart here, the background is in red. We're in an uptrend in terms of price and volume. The bars are red here on better sine wave. We're breaking above resistances. The market is strong, and this little cyclical support on the daily time frame and the lowest time frame, bang, is due to come in. So we just need some strength over the next day or two that'll signal, and that'll be probably a pullback in an uptrend support level that will help us with the move forward and push through the high that we've seen so far. On the 135-minute chart, here we go. It's the intermediate time frame here. There we go. Those two lines coming together. Support on the lowest time frame already come in here. The cross we had a couple of days ago, and you can see that support level 65.93 is in there, and all those blue professional bars. We've got a flush pattern going on here, and we've just held this week in that zone with those blue professional bars. So is it going to be something just like this, where it was an area of some weakness and then the market catches and we keep on rallying up? We've got these supports to help us along the way. We'll have two supports on these low and intermediate time frame, and so that could be good in terms of supporting the market going forward. 45-minute chart, there we go. Here it's the highest time frame. So as we go down through the time frames, on the daily chart it's the lowest time frame. On the 135 it's the intermediate time frame. On the 45 it's the highest time frame. So that's what's in due this week. There's the intermediate time frame already come in. The bars are red at the end of the week. We're breaking above resistances. This got to play in. And I was talking about where we bounce or we break through these resistance levels in previous videos. And we know the market is strong because we were breaking through these resistances here, and at this point we're bouncing off support. And does the next time that we put in one of those supports, do we just bounce off that and start to come down as we test into those highs? We'll have to wait and see. Then here we go, we've got our exhaustion sell down here, bullish divergence, and then we had a couple of flush patterns, and then on the sell-off last week we had, or prior week we had the flush pattern come in there, fussing around the zero line, but a whole bunch of blue professional bars come in this week, and seemingly this 6600 level is holding, and we're in an uptrend here. The background is in red. Big pro bars come in here. We got these supports behind us and this one to print. So don't want to go against what the chart is showing us there on the 45-minute chart. 15-minute chart, a little bit messy here. This is all backwards and forwards that we had. Yeah, we topped out with these exhaustion end of trend patterns here. We had some weakness, but all of that seemingly held 6600. We're breaking through resistance on the lowest time frame, on the intermediate time frame, and the bars are red there. So on the 15-minute chart, we're strong, and on better pro-am signals, there's our exhaustion patterns. Big pro bars come in there, and this whole level is holding. And we had an exhaustion pattern midweek that's held us at that point, and so that's important when we go into a retest of those lows, and there's the exhaustion sell comes in and we bounce off there. So 15-minute chart is strong still. 13,500 tip bar chart, and we've got the two things going on here. So here we go in terms of supports. We put in our pullback to end of trend. We fussed around. This is what I mean by it being really untidy this week. Finally we had a resistance on the highest time frame. We had a nice move down, but it ended up with pullback to end of trend, and now the bars are red. We're in an uptrend. We're breaking above resistances at that point on a better sine wave. And at the lows we didn't have anything really decent down here. So we had Rambo patterns, the sell-off at the end of the week prior. We had testing down here with bullish divergence, flush. We sell off into those lows, And the signals that we had, even down here at 6600, didn't generate anything. No blue professional bars, no exhaustion sells, and so on. And we've had at the end of the week blue professional bars. So I don't like that we've not had blue professional bars at the lows, because that would signal that the professionals were in there and they were actually taking profits at the end of the week there. And we've still got to bust through this trailing stop at that point, and that's pretty weak in terms of momentum. So we could easily have, on the shorter time frames, a sell-off to test into that area, because this needs to work itself out properly. Or we could just jump through these levels on Sunday into Monday and just get this move properly going. So I'm going to wait and see Sunday into Monday to see how that plays out. That's what the chart is showing me. No blue professional bars down here. So technically on this 13,500 dip bar chart, we're still in a downtrend because we've not seen that. We didn't have nice exhaustion patterns or anything. It's not a classic low being made here, and so I don't like it for that reason. But when we go up the time frames, this looks a lot better on the 15-minute chart with that exhaustion sell. So we just need a continuation of this uptrend there. So that lower time frame there is not jiving with what we're seeing in the higher time frame charts. So there we go. I can only show you what I'm seeing on my charts, and I don't like this as a classic bottom being made. There we go. That's the E-mini charts. Let's get to some of the markets that we were talking about last week being on sale. And gold did rally nicely. So there's the low that we saw being put in the week before last. Big pro bars coming there, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. And I said that could be an opportunity for people to jump in with a bargain at $4,000. And there we go. Gold ramped nicely. Those highs, 4,400, 10% move in gold. Topped out temporarily. Exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, flush patterns up here. We've got a signal short at the moment. We didn't have big pro bars taking profits there, so I'd be looking for the next place that we see blue professional bars coming in the lows on gold. But that was a super nice rally in gold. Silver did not rally, and listening to some of the silver and gold bugs and Bitcoin bugs, they talk about these markets going through phases where gold moves first, then Bitcoin, then silver, then Ethereum or whatever. There's a sequence that people jump into. So let's see this week if we get a signal in silver that really holds. Yep, we topped out and we moved back down to 50. Down here we've got exhaustion sells at that point. Some blue professional bars, but big pro bars yet on silver. So let's see if silver starts to rally. Bitcoin did not get going really last week. We had this 108 level that was key. We had a signal, failed, and we kept on going down. We had exhaustion buys here at this point, but now we've got exhaustion sell down here when it hit 104. It's not triggered yet in Bitcoin, but let's see if we get a signal this week in Bitcoin. Same thing with Ethereum. Nice move down here. Big pro bars coming at those lows. We got a signal, didn't go anywhere, and we've come back down to test exhaustion sell at that point, but it's not triggered into an uptrend for Ethereum. So all of those waiting to signal. So let's see if we get that this week. In terms of currencies, we did have some nice moves here. So prior week, there's all those big pro bars come in on British pound. We tested with Rambo patterns and then broke into an uptrend. So British pound's in an uptrend. Euro, backgrounds in red, also in an uptrend. We had some big pro bars coming in here, getting the move going, exhaustion buy. We tested at 116 and then broke into an uptrend. Some Rambo patterns, got a little bit excited at that point there on Euro. We got blue professional bars coming on the retrace there. So let's see if 17 holds on the Euro and we keep on rallying there. And the Aussie trying to rally here. There's the big pro bars coming in the week prior. We test again, blue professional bars coming here. The background's in red, so potentially got some strength there. Exhaustion buy, getting the move going, but we've not got a signal yet on Aussie. So let's see if those keep going this week. Japanese yen, though, did start to top out. So Japanese yen with the sell-off in equities, big pro bars came in here. We got our rally, got our signal, and it topped out with Rambo patterns up here, and we've weakened from there. So we'll have to see what happens next on Japanese yen. And 10 years, similar type thing. We had that starting to rally with big pro bars coming in a couple of weeks ago, and we had a nice strong rally in 10 years this week, but it's topped out. Rambo patterns, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and it's rolling over from there. So for the time being, nothing going on in those markets. And just to round all of this out, crude, yep, we've got exhaustion sells, bullish divergence, exhaustion sell, but no big pro bars there. So I'd like to see more conviction there that the big pro bars have come in on crude. But natural gas, we talked about that the prior week. A whole bunch of blue professional bars come in here. We weakened, and now professionals coming at 295, and we've got the background, we've got our signal. So let's see if natural gas strengthens. And then lastly, the ags. The prior week I was talking about wasn't interested in looking at the ags because the big markets were where the action was going to be. Of course, no, we get a signal in corn. It was beauty. Took off to the upside there beginning of this week. Soybeans starting to signal now. Here's exhaustion sells, bullish divergence, blue professional bars at those lows just over 1,000, and we're up at 21s at the moment with a signal there. Soybeans. And lastly, wheat is looking good as well. We had a signal here. We've got big pro bars come in. Maybe this move is going to strengthen above 508. The background's in red, so we're in an uptrend on wheat. So there we go. Overall, yeah, it was untidy this last week. I don't think we bottomed it properly with big pro bars on the equities tip bar charts, but have to wait and see. Are we going to have another push down, and then all of our cyclical supports will play in, and we'll just rally from there. So I wish it was neat and tidy this weekend, but it's not. Markets rarely are. But we'll just have to wait and see what signals generate in the first couple of days of this week. So good luck with your trading.